Last year I performed in season 20 of America's Got Talent and we even advanced all the way to the quarterfinal. How did that happen? Hello everyone, welcome to this video. My name is Luca, also known as the German travel guy. If you follow me for the travel videos, you probably know that I'm the guy who visited every country on the planet. Anyway, last year I did a massive side quest, which was to perform in season 20 of AGT, of America's Got Talent. But how did that even happen? Because I'm gonna tell you, it was very spontaneous. So in March last year, I happened to be in Los Angeles and I literally just spent a few weeks there, nothing special basically, until I got a call from Jonglissimo. Who is Jonglissimo? Jonglissimo is basically the best juggling team in the world. And if we go a little bit back in my life story, at age 18, I quit school in order to become a full-time juggler, a full-time performer. And that went pretty well until about a year later when COVID hit and we had no shows left. But basically, I've been juggling since the age of 10. It was my biggest passion. I practiced so much for so many years. And since juggling is such a niche sport, if you put 5 years of full-time dedication into it, you can become one of the best in the world. So at age 18, I moved to Austria to join Jonglissimo until COVID hit, when I left Austria again basically. But in March last year, Jonglissimo was in trouble because they were about to audition for AGT, but one of their group members got ill. So they basically phoned me, because I'm like the reserve team basically, and they said, Luca, hey, would you have time to do a show for us for America's Got Talent in Los Angeles? And I'm like, wait, they didn't know that I was already in Los Angeles. So they asked me, hey, yeah, would you be able to perform a show in Los Angeles? I said, I am literally in Los Angeles. And with that, it was settled. They all came to LA and just 4 days later, we had our audition. Here you can see a sneak peek of it. Of course, we told the production how spontaneous this whole endeavor was for me, and because of that, they loved it. We filmed so many stories with them backstage, we filmed so many reality shots, making that into the story. And when our audition went really well, because we got 4 yeses and standing ovations from everyone. Now you have to understand, Simon Cowell hates juggling, but he gave us standing ovations and he loved our act. It was amazing. We got the most amazing feedback from all 4 judges. For us, it was not just about getting 4 yeses, but also in a way to represent juggling, because juggling is so often so misrepresented and not really thought of as something cool. So we wanted to change that image, and getting 4 yeses and standing ovations from everyone was so amazing, and we had so much energy, and everyone backstage also noticed that. So we filmed so many videos backstage. The only thing that was missing was the golden buzzer to take us straight to the live shows. So yeah, a few months passed and we weren't sure whether we would be in the live shows, but at some point we got the email. We made it. They actually selected us for the quarterfinals. So we were in the live shows, and that meant we all had to come back to Los Angeles again to perform in the live shows. And of course, that meant rehearsing a lot. It was so much work for those 3 minutes of shows that you actually get on that stage. But again, I have to say it went phenomenally well. Here's a sneak peek. Mel B actually said that we looked like the Wiggles, and she made that joke on stage in a live show.
Are you dressing like the Wiggles?
And to be honest, none of us had ever heard of the Wiggles before. So we were like, yeah. And then we looked it up backstage, what on earth are the Wiggles? And we were like, no, she did not just say that. It was so funny. We had an amazing time there. The show went really well and we did get really good feedback again. And then in the results show, it was time for us to see whether we had made it to the semifinal. Now sadly, we did not make it to the semifinal. However, we did make it into the top 5 of the night.
Jonglissimo! Oh, well, you guys guys are just brilliant at what you do.
We were so thrilled about it because it didn't just mean that we as Jonglissimo made it into the top 5, but it also meant that juggling as a whole made it into the top 5. And it meant that so many people actually voted for us and voted for juggling and liked our performance. And that, to be honest, made us super happy. In fact, I went a little bit viral afterwards on X and on Reddit as the yellow guy, but funnily enough, not a lot of people made the connection between me as the German travel guy, which is kind of interesting because I have so many US-based followers and I have 3 million followers on TikTok, so a huge chunk of that is US-based, and I'm sure some people have noticed it. I get some comments on my TikTok here and there, but a lot of the times people don't make the connection. It's just this random juggler on stage and then this other guy on TikTok making travel videos. Few people noticed it, but not a lot of people. So when we were on the plane, for example, a few people noticed us and they were like, oh yeah, you were Jonglissimo, the ones that performed on AGT. That was really fun. But very few people made the connection between me as the German travel guy being on stage there on AGT. It was very interesting, a very interesting, weird dynamic to observe, because then I also posted about it on TikTok to my travel fan base basically, and I was like, yeah, I just performed on the quarterfinal of AGT, and they were like, wait, what did you even do? Because a lot of people don't know that I'm a juggler originally. They just know me as this guy who tries to visit every country. But no, I had a phenomenal time. It was so fun. If you want some tips, if you are gonna apply for AGT, bring a lot of stamina. Yeah, it takes a lot of effort because you don't just have your 3 minutes on stage that are really tense, but there's so much going on in the background, right? There's so many reality shootings and like photo shootings and interviews and more interviews, and they take so much time. So just mentally prepare for that. Bring some food. I think the food on site is not that great, so keep that a little bit in mind, like bring some snacks and just be yourself and be as authentic as possible with the best energy possible, because this is really what connects you and your show to whether the people are gonna like you or not. And that's why I think for Jonglissimo I did a lot of the speaking, because I'm used to talking into a camera like right now, and I'm used to giving interviews, for example. So for me, I have developed that over the last few years being a content creator, that I can speak and hold a conversation under pressure, even under very high pressure. So I did a lot of the talking. And I think if I can give you one advice, practice that. Like practice speaking to a camera, whether you're gonna apply for AGT or not, or some other show. Just take your phone and try speaking into the camera and really exaggerate. Performing and also speaking in public is a little bit like makeup, right? In everyday life, you maybe put a little bit of makeup on, but on stage and in front of a camera, you have to put a lot of makeup on, because there's all the lights and you on stage. And performing kind of relates the same way with your energy. In everyday life, you don't need to talk as if you were in an advertisement, right? This voice of like, whoa, we did so much work, we put so much effort in, this is our biggest dream, this kind of voice. But on stage, you really need this energy, because this is what's gonna get you seen, and this is what the people associate with your act. So if I have one advice, if you're gonna apply for AGT, is practice that. Practice exaggerating and practice speaking into the camera. That's the biggest advice I think that I can give you as a content creator. But yeah, it was such a fun time on America's Got Talent. Not sure if I will ever be back. A few weeks after AGT, we actually went to Rome, to Italy, for the Italian version of AGT called Tusi Cavales, but that's a whole other story in itself. If you want me to explain it, leave it down in the comments. If you have any more questions or want me to make more videos about that journey on AGT, or if you have specific questions, leave them down in the comments below and subscribe to the channel. Because yeah, I have quite a lot of followers on TikTok and Instagram by now, but hardly any here on YouTube, and I really want to grow here on YouTube. So if you like those videos and they provide value to you, just subscribe and give it a thumbs up. I would really appreciate it, and I will see you in the next video. Peace out.